Yep.
Let's see where we are. Okay, I think we're recording. I think it's working.
We are.
Hello, everybody.
Hello from sunny Ireland.
Yes, this is the magic of technology. Halfway across the world, we can still talk to each other.
We can, and we can still give you what you really want: the predictions, the forecasting, the vision of the future.
That's right. I know everybody depends on this, to know what's going to happen this weekend. And
yes,
we won't keep them in suspense any longer.
Let's cut straight to the case. So we have Saturday games. I think our first game is Bournemouth at home to Chelsea.
Yes. What do you think, Mike?
Simply it's nearly comical. It's gone beyond embarrassing for Chelsea. It's comical.
Yeah.
And for Lampard, you'd nearly want them to lose, so he'd have the lovely, perfect 007 score.
He's lost. Yeah, he's lost.
I just think
they've lost their last six games.
6.
Yeah, the club record is 7.
So you could have a 007.
Yeah, so it's good for him. It's good for him to get some record anyway.
Yeah, he'd be the new James Bond.
And a stat for you, that the record of a new manager who lost the most consecutive games, the next is 14. 14 games lost.
Yeah.
That was in 1930. Can you name the manager of Man United at that time?
I cannot.
Herbert Barnlett.
Oh my God, there's a name. That's
there you go now. So that's what.
That's a name I won't remember.
Actually, he's lost his last 10 games if you include Everton.
If you include Everton, he's actually on a decent run of losses.
So the record is 14. So he's.
I don't think he's going to take this record. I don't think he's going to get the lovely 7. Only because Bournemouth are safe. In their heads, they're safe.
Yeah.
And these Chelsea guys have to have some shred of dignity. Even though they're playing, surely in the training ground during the week, they talk and say, let's get back to basics.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they need to do.
I'm predicting a Chelsea victory here.
Okay. Because Bournemouth feel safe.
Just 1-0.
Okay.
I think Bournemouth won't be as hard as they have been. There might be a slight celebratory atmosphere.
Yeah, I think that Bournemouth will still be up for it. I think they'll be enjoying. They've had such a struggle all season that they'll be enjoying their football a little bit now, and I think they'll be relishing this game against Chelsea. And Dominic Solanke has kind of come into form recently. He's had 6 goal involvements in his last 7 games. So and Bournemouth have scored 9 in their last 5. So they've found this freedom. Of course, they scored 4 against Leeds in the last game. So I'm going to go for it. I understand what you're saying. I think it could very easily happen, but I just think maybe Bournemouth might have one more game in their tank and to beat Chelsea in this one.
Well, hopefully. I mean, as I say, just to keep the entertainment going on the Frank Lampard horror show.
I read there about Gary Neville, and obviously he's getting some feedback from other players and so on, saying about how Ted Bowley is too involved in everything. He sacked all the previous background staff, physios, Peter Cech left, the woman Gravinoskoka, whatever her name was, is all gone. And he seems to be kind of trying doing fantasy football. And he comes into the dressing room after every game, and maybe there's too much of his involvement as well.
100%. Owners should be owners, directors. Why have a manager if you're going to interfere with their job?
Yes, I understand. So we'll see which way it goes. I think Bournemouth and Chelsea. We'll see. Okay. So what about the next game? Man City at home to Leeds.
Well, I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah, of course, this will be a big game because Vic Sam will be back in the dugout with Leeds, right? And all the pomp and all the... Yeah, so I guess he'll be setting up Leeds to not concede. I mean, they lost 4 against Bournemouth in the last game. They do have an attacking threat, Leeds.
Yeah.
But if it was at Ellen Road, I might say something. But away at Etihad, even though watching the game against West Ham, Man City never really got out of first gear. You know, they were able just to kind of take along and they got their goals. So there is possibility for Leeds if they're set up in the right way, make it difficult for Man City. But I just feel that at home, City are relentless now at the moment, and Leeds' defense is very poor. So I can't stop. I can't see Leeds getting a miracle result on this one. Man City to win, maybe 2-0.
Yeah. I think that City obviously will have one eye on the Real Madrid game coming up the following week.
Yeah.
And so there will be a lot of changes. But Haaland doesn't run a lot. He doesn't actually exert a lot of energy in the field. So I think he'll play Haaland because, you know, he'd be looking at how many kilometers to run, how tired, how fatigued.
Sure.
And he knows Haaland wants to go for pushing records, get more goals, get more goals.
Yeah.
And he'll feed him that. So he'll play Haaland, I think. Whether he rests, I know he rests De Bruyne during the week, so maybe, you know, he'll have a strong enough team out, as you say. Allardyce in, try and shore up defence. It isn't a magic cure. This defence is so brittle.
Yeah,
there isn't suddenly going to become a fortress. So I see that as well. I see it as a comfortable City victory.
Okay, all right.
Again, I would go by 2 or 3 goals.
Okay.
And then take off the good players in the second half.
Yes, they can do that. Yeah, they're winning. They definitely will do that with the big game coming up midweek. Then we have got an interesting one: Spurs at home to Palace.
Yeah, for me, Spurs have not been playing bad under Mason. You know, they got an angry draw against United, and they were really unlucky against Liverpool. Jota, looking at it, he should have been sent off. There's no two ways about that. But that's a VAR thing.
Yeah.
And so he's got a righteous grievance there. So their goals, they've started scoring goals again. They are at home. Their defense is just so bad. But against Palace, who are also a team that are kind of unsafe, I'm fancying Spurs to get a win in this one. It'll be scrappy, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw, but I'll give it to Spurs, maybe 2-1.
Okay, yeah, because Palace won their last game, an exciting game. They beat West Ham 4-3. So, so maybe they've got their 3 points now. They might be kind of like saying, okay, we were safe enough. We don't need to exert ourselves too much in this one. Spurs have conceded 57 goals this season. They've conceded 15 in their last 4. That's the most since 2008 for them. And my theory about Spurs is that it reminds me when I was playing Division 3 for Ballinhassig in the West Cork League, and we were bottom of the table. And it was like we were so nervous that we actually kind of made mistakes at the start of games so that we were behind. And then when we were behind, the pressure was off. Okay, we're losing now. Because before that, it's like the pressure is on. Will we be able
to hold on to the 0-0?
Yeah, the pressure. See, so when you start losing, then it's like, okay, all that pressure is gone. That's a weakness, obviously, in mentality. I think Spurs have that at the moment because they've conceded a league high 13 goals in the first 15 minutes. And that kind of that's poor psychology or lack of confidence is very much in their defense, I think. So there's goals there for Palace because Hodgson, of course, is making them take shots to be more aggressive. I'm expecting a lot of goals in this one. I think Spurs' attack obviously still is very dangerous. So I think even though they're nervous, they might outscore Palace 3-2.
Okay, you're going 3-2. Good. And another entertaining game.
Yes, I think definitely there'll be goals in that one, I think, yeah. All right. Then that
means it's got nil written all over it.
Yeah, that's the curse, right? When you make a statement like that.
Yeah, exactly. You say, there'll definitely be goals in this game, and then you can see it's going to be...
Well, that's football. You can never predict anything 100%.
Absolutely. So, anyway, Wolves versus Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Black Country Derby, they call this, right? Midland Derby.
Yeah.
And are you asking me about this one first?
I'm asking you to go first. Yes.
Yeah. Villa obviously lost their 10-game unbeaten run, pretty tamely enough against United. United kind of played them well, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
Wolves, they've won their last 3 home games. Wolves, even though they were beaten 6-0 by Brighton away in the last game. So Wolves are going back to basics on this one. It's an interesting one. It's a derby. Villa, they didn't score against Man United. They beat Fulham 1-0. They drew with Brentford 1-1. Their goals are drying up a little bit. Wolves keeping it tight. I could see this being a very close 0-0 draw.
That is close to me.
Yeah.
So 0-0 and a draw.
Yeah.
I'm going. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the Villa's rise, their high form, is dipping.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe deep down they know, okay, we're not going to get top 4. We'll probably top 6 might even be or Europe. Do we really want it? That's the question. They might say, look, we don't have the squad, and there could be something inside going, we need to build for the league next year.
Yeah. But surely you don't make a decision. Surely you don't make a decision in a team to say, let's not perform well so we don't get into the top 6.
Well, no, you don't. But you know yourself, confidence is a big thing, and you can easily lose it too.
Sure.
As you say, the goals have started drying up, and suddenly now it's like this swagger is gone.
Yeah.
The swagger and the confidence when they go out on the back of such a good run.
Yeah.
It's tampered.
Yeah.
Wolves need a victory. They're not out of the woods entirely yet. So I feel that Wolves will be set up to take advantage of the home ground.
Yeah.
Villa mightn't be up for the fight as much as Wolves are, and I see Wolves getting from a set play, maybe a corner. They get the goal that they need, and 1-0 to
Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So it would be a fierce one because it is a derby, as we say. Then let you go on the next one. Liverpool at home to Brentford. Liverpool obviously will be happy that Man United lost last night to that very late penalty from Brighton.
Yeah, I think I'm happy for Brighton as well. And Brighton are, if people talk about Liverpool in with a chance for top 4, Brighton are still in with a shot. They have a lot of games in hand.
Yeah.
Look, I think top 4 is there's not enough games, and this run is too late. I also see Brentford, we still conceding goals. The defense is still brittle. I see Brentford scoring here in Anfield, without a doubt.
Sure.
So even though we're on a good run attacking-wise, I'm going to go for a draw on this one. An entertaining draw, but a draw nonetheless. I'm going to go 2-2. We definitely with the boys coming back, the David Luiz, particularly Jota. We've so many options attack-wise now that if something isn't working, we can go to the bench for quality, real good quality to come off the bench and make a big impact. Yeah. But that defense is too brittle. So I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that Liverpool they've won like a few games in a row. They beat West Ham, they beat Tottenham, they beat Fulham. They haven't been overly impressive, in those games.
No.
I think definitely their forward line is back. Salah is on form. You've got Diaz and who was the other guy? Jota back. But I think Brentford will be relishing this one. This will be their cup final. Going to Anfield. It's every footballer's dream to play at Anfield. At some point. And I think they have the strong enough defense, and they've got the firepower up front with Tony as well. So I think Brentford actually are going to win this one. I'm going to go for a Brentford win.
A Brentford victory. Okay, well, let's move on. So to the next one. You'll take this first. Super Sunday, huge match.
Yeah,
Newcastle
huge game.
At home to Arsenal.
Huge game. I think if Arsenal win this one, it'll go down to the final game it'll go on that long, But I think if City beat Leeds and then Arsenal lose to Newcastle, I think there'll be too much. You can't see City lose. Might lose 1, not going to lose 2 or 3. I think it'll be all over. And so it's a huge game for Arsenal against an informed Newcastle team who have got that strength in defence, but also now suddenly have got the goals. They scored 3 against Southampton, 4 against Everton, 6 against Spurs. Callum Wilson is on fire, and you've also got Isaac, who's a dangerous player in the box. Arsenal as well, their defence is still very brittle. I mean, even in the Chelsea game, they won 3-1. Chelsea managed to score a goal against them, and every time they broke, there was a possibility that they would score. It was like too easy to get through the defense. And I actually have a theory about William Saliba, about this back injury thing that he's not able to recover from. They've entered negotiations with Martinelli. He's agreed a new deal. Saka also apparently has given a verbal agreement, but Saliba, there's no discussions, nothing. And his contract expires next year. I have a feeling that he says he doesn't want to sign a contract, and I feel that Arteta then said, "Okay, you're not playing anymore." That's what I feel has happened with Saliba. That's this back injury thing that's not recovering from. No one has been talking about it, but you heard it here first.
Yeah, controversial. Maybe
it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
It might be complete.
It could be complete rubbish.
It's a possibility.
That's the great thing about these prediction things. You can say, it can say, but we don't do a follow-up. Like
I'm putting a disclaimer on this. I'm putting a disclaimer on this. This is his opinion.
Repeat.
I'm putting a disclaimer. Yeah. If you're going to sue anyone here, Saliba, this is only his opinion.
Okay. I'm just on this side of the video. But I think it's interesting. I think it could be a case. Anyway, in terms of a prediction, I think Arsenal are still too weak. There's cracks in this team. I think Newcastle will beat them 2-1, and the Premier League season will be over. But still, Arsenal finishing second, still a very good season for them overall.
Yeah, fantastic. They'll be under challenge to finish second then, because obviously if Newcastle win, then they're breathing down their necks for second place.
And Newcastle have a game in hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that last week. I said,
a lot to play for. I just like the attacking link-up play. I think Odegaard is a very underrated player. Hopefully this year at least he won't win Player of the Season, but he should be at least in the running and be acknowledged in the Team of the Season. And they start games well. They seem to they get their flurry of goals and then they kind of sit back. So if they get their flurry of goals, I'm hopeful for an Arsenal point of view that they might hold on.
Yeah.
This is based on really nothing except I'd like the season to keep going. I'd like there to be a little question mark for City about how many players they rest for the Real Madrid return.
That's right.
And keeping an eye on that they don't have the league sewn up.
Yeah.
And for them not to have the league sewn up, Arsenal need to win this game. So I'm going to predict they will win it. They'll win it 3-1 with 3 goals, maybe even 3-2, but we'll hopefully 3-1 to give that breathing space in the last.
I hope you're right. I'll be hoping that's true. We'll see. It'll be a good game anyway. Either way, that's the only game on the Sunday.
You know what? There's one more. There's West Ham.
Oh, okay.
A late game. West Ham versus Man United
is
a late Sunday game.
Yeah. So you go with that one. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll go. Well, I mean, this is kind of as well, maybe putting my Liverpool hat on and saying, hopefully, West Ham still need the points. Man United are not playing well, even though they got the victory against Aston Villa. Aston Villa were very flat, but Aston Villa still, I thought, were the better team in the first half.
Yes.
West Ham have been playing well. They've been a bit unlucky with some of the results in recent, again, against Liverpool. There was a question mark about a penalty, that wasn't given. So again, unlucky. We were talking about Liverpool enough. But West Ham have been a bit unlucky. And when they've won games, they've won them well.
Yeah.
The
last game against Man City, they had a lot of illnesses, like Declan Rice and Souček were all, there was a bug in the camp.
And he
So a
actually
lot will depend
he
if they
took
get
off
back.
players early.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
will
they
depend
have to be
if
back
those players
for
come
this.
back. Sorry, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I forgot that. Yes, and he even took off some of their better players early in the second half because he knew the game was beyond them, and he
Yeah.
said, "Look, it's the next game we need to focus on."
Okay.
So West Ham at home, needing the points against a Man United team that are stuttering towards the end of the season. I'm going to go for a West Ham victory. I'm going to say they're going to get the goals. They'll get two goals. And maybe United won't score any. It could be 2-0.
Okay. I'm going to go for a United win on this one. Moyes has got a terrible.
You're going for a United win, are you?
I'm going for United to win on this one. I think United will win.
Well, wow, that's great. Well, seeing as it's West Ham United versus Man United, it's easy to say United to win.
Okay. Sorry, West Ham fans. I think Manchester United, I think, will win this one. Yes.
Okay.
You're right. I have to show respect to the West Ham supporters as well. Sorry, my sister, if you're listening, she'll be killing me. But she's a West Ham fan.
Yeah.
But I think Moyes' record is terrible. Like he's winless in 10. He's lost his last 5 in a row against Man United. Man United as well will be. Man United always play around 7 out of 10. If you can play 8 out of 10, about 7.5. If you can play 8 or 9, 10 against United at this squad, you'll always beat them. But can West Ham raise their game up to a 7.5 to beat Man United? And I don't think they can at present, especially if their players are missing. And United will be smarting as well against the last game. So I have a feeling that Man United will go there and win 2-1 maybe. To put West Ham still in danger, not out of danger yet, West Ham from relegation.
Oh, no, I won't help them.
And now West Ham maybe might be playing midweek as well too. They're still in Europe as well. They have to consider that. Then the next game
they are, but I think
yeah, Fulham at home to Leicester. Will I go that one?
Yeah, go with that one.
Yeah, Fulham obviously lost to Liverpool 1-0. They were unlucky against City. They gave a good performance against Manchester City. They pushed them to 2-1. Leicester are unbeaten since Dean Smith came back in. They've got 5 points from the 3 games. So he's definitely steadied the ship. He's getting Vardy again firing. Vardy scored in his last 2. You know, Vardy may not be the quickest, but he's a good finisher. And, you know, obviously there might have been something between him and Brendan Rodgers, that Brendan Rodgers didn't play him as much before. So interesting one there. But I have a feeling that Leicester will have improved, but Fulham are also a dangerous team. I think this could be maybe 2-2. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw on this one. Maybe edging the Fulham win.
Yeah, I would actually say if either team was going to win, it'd be more likely to be Fulham. They've settled down Fulham since, you know, we've said it every week about the FA Cup and Mitrovic, etc. And they're finding goals and they're playing well. Wilson is playing well. Paulinho is playing well. So Fulham are definitely there. But as you say, Dean Smith's come in. He's steadied that horrible defensive run they were going. They've steadied the ship a bit. Leicester need the points, but they won't. I can see them going behind and fighting back for a draw. And they'll say, look, it keeps us there in the fight for avoiding relegation. Yeah. So 1-1, I'm going for 1-1 on this one.
Okay.
Each point counts at this stage.
Sure. And Leicester always score goals. They score, but they always concede as well too. That's their problem on the other side. Okay. Then we have Brighton at home to Everton. Big game for Everton. Do you think it's possible for them to go to the Amex and win?
I don't. I think Brighton, with the way they're playing, you saw what they did to Wolves, and Wolves are a far better team in a far better place going there. I think Brighton have too many options. If one player isn't playing well, if Mitoma isn't doing it, they've got other options.
Yeah,
And enough
that.
of them are playing well.
An example, they had no right back in the last game. They moved Casado from midfield into right back. He played very well.
Yeah, the players obviously have bought into what Zarbi or whatever his name is doing.
Zerbi.
So no, the question is, I don't see Everton having the solutions or the creativity to really test and damage Brighton. So I see nothing but a 2, even 3-0 Brighton victory.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have to remember Everton just survived on the last day last season, and they're back down there again. Mm-hmm. So there's big problems there. I think as well, Brighton have a very high press, and they put a lot of pressure, and there's a big risk of individual errors then from Everton under that pressure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Michael Keane is an error in itself.
What's that?
We talk about Michael Keane is a walking error. You know, he's an error waiting to happen in every.
That's right. Dyche is trying to create the Blackburn thing again, with Tarkowski, Keane, and Dwight McNeil as well. But Keane's best days are definitely behind him. Yeah, I mean, I think Brighton are nailed on for a win on this one. But it'll be a short turnaround, though. Well, the Monday, so it'll be tough for Everton on this one, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And we got one last game. Relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah.
I would say last chance saloon for Southampton against Nottingham Forest at home. Who'll be saying these are 3 points we must get.
Yeah.
So both teams have to win this.
Yes. Yeah.
Who do you say?
I think Forest at home will be too much for Southampton. Southampton will have to go for it. That maybe then will leave them more susceptible to Forest on the break. Forest are a very good team at home. Although Forest have no clean sheet in 13 games, so there's a chance that Southampton could score. But maybe I just think that Southampton are going down. I think it'll be 2-1 to Nottingham Forest, and that should help them in their fight for survival.
Yeah, I'd agree. The home record of Forest is what's keeping them any bit afloat.
Yeah,
and Southampton are going to get what they deserve for this season and for the policies they've had of selling good players and not really investing in the team.
Yeah, and letting go of Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, the academy has dried up a bit as well. It's been a few years since they've had a really exciting youngster come through.
Yeah,
and that's what's kept them up all years is the turning out of all these exciting players that then. And particularly Liverpool have turned around and signed, but Arsenal have signed a good few, and a lot of teams have taken. If you took current, put a team out of players that started in Southampton and their best 11, you'd be like, oh wow, that's a great team.
Sure, yeah.
But they haven't done this. But it's all older players. There's nothing of the last, say, 4 or 5 years even.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Gareth Bales. 10 years ago, Walcott. That's long. That's even more. That's nearly 20 years ago.
Sure. I mean, they still invest.
So.
Yeah. They still invest in youth because the current team with Arsenal is the youngest team in the Premier League. But the problem is that there's no gem amongst that group. They need a couple of gems to come through from each group. And there's none in this group, you see. So. Yeah. This is the reason why I think it's a bridge too far for them. Forest need the window because they're not out of danger yet. They really need the points because Forest are a high risk as well. Because Forest have only won in 13 games. We always think they have a good home record, but they've only won 1 game of all their games in the last 13. So that's relegation.
Yeah, I think that might have been against Liverpool.
Could have been, actually, you're right.
And everyone was beating Liverpool.
Yeah. Except Arsenal, we couldn't beat G. Yeah. So Forest to win. But anyway, it'll be exciting. It's coming down to the squeak, as Ferguson would said, it's squeaky bum time.
Yeah, indeed. let's see how we get on, and best of luck in your bets, guys. And
Yeah.
here we go, the magic of technology from one continent to the next continent.
Yeah, and we have no liability for any of those bets that maybe you get wrong based on our predictions.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Or your money back.
Yeah, or he'd get on to him. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording now, and then we can have a quick chat after that, okay? All the best.
Okay, so let's say goodbye to